Hello, I'm Andrew Lash, and I'll be taking you through this next lesson on the OWASP AI Exchange. In this lesson, we'll explore the Runtime Application Security Threats chapter of the AI Exchange. You'll learn the following: non-AI specific application security threats, runtime model poisoning, direct runtime model theft, insecure output handling, and leak-sensitive input data. You can see the link to the web page associated with this lesson on the screen, and you can get to it at the following address, which is https://owaspai.org/docs/for_runtime_application_security_threats. Let's move into the first section, which covers the non-AI specific application security threats. Not all AI risks are unique. AI systems are still built on standard IT infrastructure and software stacks. This means classic application vulnerabilities like injection flaws, authentication weaknesses, and misconfigurations continue to pose threats. Why does this matter? Neglecting traditional security controls leaves AI systems open to attacks that compromise not only data, but also the AI model's reliability and trustworthiness. A breach in underlying components can cascade into model manipulation or data loss. Benefits of awareness and mitigation are as follows. It preserves core system security alongside AI-specific measures. It ensures consistent protection across the full stack, and it reduces risk of data leaks, service disruption, or model compromise. Best practices are as follows. 1. Apply standard application security testing, such as the OWASP Top 10. 2. Use secure coding, input validation, and patch management. 3. Extend logging and monitoring to cover both system and AI events. 4. Integrate DevSecOps to detect vulnerabilities early. And 5. Combine traditional controls with AI-specific defenses. AI security doesn't replace traditional cybersecurity, it builds on top of it. Strengthening foundational application security is the first step toward protecting intelligent systems. The controls that assist with the non-AI specific application security threats are as follows. The governance controls in the general section, in particular the SecDev program control to attain application security, and SEC program control to attain information security in the organization. Other useful standards include OpenCRE on technical application security controls. ISO 27002 controls only partly cover technical application security controls and on a high abstraction level. More detailed and comprehensive control overviews can be found in, for example, Common Criteria Protection Profiles or ISO/IEC 15408 with evaluation described in ISO 18045, or another standard to consider is the OWASP ASVS. The following applies to operational security. When models are hosted by third parties, then security configuration of those services deserves special attention. Part of this configuration is model access control, an important mitigation for security risks. Cloud AI configuration options deserve scrutiny, like, for example, opting out when necessary of monitoring by the third party, which could increase the risk of exposing sensitive data. Useful standards include OpenCRE on operational security processes, and the ISO 27002 controls only partly cover operational security controls and on a high abstraction level. Runtime model poisoning occurs when attackers modify a live AI model's internal parameters, inputs or outputs, leading to compromised predictions or total service disruption. Unlike training time poisoning, this attack targets the deployed model, exploiting weak runtime defenses. Why does this matter? Such manipulation can undermine trust, produce harmful or biased outputs, or even weaponize the model against users. It's especially dangerous in safety-critical or autonomous systems where altered outputs can have real-world impacts. Benefits of awareness and mitigation are as follows. It protects integrity and reliability of deployed AI systems. It ensures business continuity and consistent model behavior, and it strengthens incident detection and forensic capability. Best practices are as follows. 1. Apply strict runtime access control, such as the hash model access control AI exchange control. 2. Implement model integrity verification and version tracking. 3. Use continuous validation to detect anomalies. 4. Log and monitor model modifications or unexpected outputs. And 5. Deploy segregated environments to limit exposure. Protecting a model doesn't stop after deployment. Securing runtime behavior is critical to prevent manipulation that could turn trusted AI systems into attack vectors. Controls that would be used as part of the runtime model poisoning include general controls from the AI exchange and the following controls, each marked with a hash and a short name in capitals. Hash runtime model integrity. Runtime model integrity ensures that deployed AI models remain unaltered and secure during operation. It focuses on protecting the model's parameters, such as neural network weights, from corruption, tampering, or theft. Why does this matter? Compromised models can produce unreliable or malicious outputs, eroding trust and possibly violating safety, ethical, or regulatory requirements. Protecting model integrity helps maintain both system reliability and data confidentiality. Benefits of awareness and mitigation are as follows. It preserves trust and accuracy of AI predictions. It prevents runtime poisoning and model theft. And it supports auditability and compliance with security frameworks. Best practices are as follows. 1. Enforce role-based access control to model files and APIs. 2. Apply cryptographic integrity checks and encryption at rest. 3. Use trusted execution environments or TEEs for secure inference. 4. Implement runtime monitoring and tamper alerts. And 5. Regularly validate model hashes or signatures before use. Your AI model is only as trustworthy as its integrity. Continuous protection of model parameters and runtime environments is essential for secure, dependable AI operations. Hash runtime model I/O integrity. Runtime model input-output or I/O integrity safeguards the data entering and leaving an AI model during operation. It focuses on ensuring that both the inputs provided to the model and the outputs it produces remain authentic, unaltered, and secure throughout transmission and processing. Why does this matter? Attackers can manipulate data in transit to mislead the model or alter its outputs, a serious risk in AI-driven decision systems. Breaches of I/O integrity can cause incorrect results, false decisions, or even system compromise. Benefits of awareness and mitigation are as follows. It protects accuracy and trust in model predictions. It prevents tampering or spoofing of input-output data. And it supports regulatory compliance and audit assurance. Best practices are as follows. 1. Enforce end-to-end encryption or TLS for model communication. 2. Apply input validation and output verification to detect anomalies. 3. Use digital signatures or message authentication codes or MACs. 4. Employ secure APIs and gateways for data exchange. And 5. Monitor for unexpected I/O patterns or latency spikes. Securing an AI model means securing its entire communication path. Protecting input and output integrity ensures your model's decisions are based on genuine, trustworthy data, not on what an attacker wants it to see. Direct runtime model theft occurs when attackers gain unauthorized access to a deployed AI system and extract model parameters directly from storage, executables, or memory. Unlike theft through use, this attack happens through direct system intrusion rather than probing via the model's APIs or outputs. Why does this matter? Stolen models can be replicated, reverse engineered, or abused to bypass protections like rate limiting and access control. This undermines both intellectual property protection and security posture. The benefits of awareness and mitigation are as follows. It protects confidentiality of proprietary AI models, it maintains competitive advantage, and it prevents secondary attacks using stolen models. Best practices are as follows. 1. Encrypt model parameters in memory and at rest. 2. Employ trusted execution environments or TEEs and secure enclaves. 3. Limit administrative and runtime access privileges. 4. Implement runtime monitoring and anomaly detection. And 5. Harden systems against side channel leaks, for example, timing or power. AI models are valuable digital assets. Securing them against direct theft in production environments ensures operational trust, preserves intellectual property, and prevents attackers from weaponizing your own technology. Controls to use for direct runtime model theft include the general controls from the AI Exchange, and the following controls, each marked with a hash and a short name in capitals. Hash runtime model confidentiality. Runtime model confidentiality ensures that deployed AI models are protected from unauthorized access and side channel leaks. It focuses on securing model parameters and runtime operations from attackers exploiting memory, execution environments, or physical signals. Why does this matter? AI models contain proprietary logic and sensitive training data representations. If stolen or exposed, they can be reverse engineered, cloned, or attacked. Maintaining confidentiality prevents intellectual property theft and data exposure. The benefits are as follows. It preserves competitive advantage and IP value. It shields models from hardware-based espionage, and it enhances resilience against runtime exploitation. Best practices are as follows. Use trusted execution environments, or TEEs, to isolate model operations. 2. Encrypt model parameters in storage and memory. 3. Employ masking, such as random delays or noise, to obscure timing patterns. 4. Apply hardware shielding to prevent electromagnetic or acoustic leaks. And 5. Integrate with secure dev and ops programs. See the SecDev program control within the AI Exchange for further information. Protecting AI confidentiality at runtime is as critical as protecting data at rest. By combining encryption, isolation, and side-channel countermeasures, organizations can ensure their AI systems remain secure and trustworthy in production. Hash model obfuscation. Model obfuscation makes a model's files, parameters, or runtime artifacts difficult to interpret after access. Techniques transform or encode model artifacts so an attacker who obtains them faces extra effort to reconstruct usable weights, architecture, or inference logic. Why does this matter? Obfuscation raises the cost and time for attackers to extract intellectual property, reproduce the model, or mount targeted attacks that rely on understanding internal model structure. It is especially useful when full isolation, for example, physical control or perfect TEEs, cannot be guaranteed. Benefits are as follows. It increases difficulty of model theft and reverse engineering. It adds a layered defense that complements encryption and TEEs. And it helps protect commercial value and reduces risk of downstream attacks. Best practices are as follows. 1. Treat obfuscation as defense in depth. Combine with encryption, access control, TEEs, and monitoring. 2. Apply transformations that preserve inference correctness but reduce the interpretability, such as obfuscate metadata, rename or encode tensors, and pack or encode parameter files. 3. Use techniques that are practical to deploy and test. 4. Rotate or refresh obfuscation methods and keys as part of your CI/CD and incident response plans. And 5. Validate with threat modeling. Prioritize obfuscation where model IP value or theft risk is high. Model obfuscation is a practical complementary control to raise the bar for attackers trying to steal or reverse engineer models. It should be used as part of a layered runtime protection strategy, not a standalone fix. Insecure output handling occurs when AI-generated responses are processed or displayed without proper sanitization, potentially enabling attacks like cross-site scripting or XSS. Because AI can produce arbitrary text, its output should be treated as untrusted, similar to user input in traditional web applications. Why does this matter? Even well-trained models can generate or echo malicious content. If this content is displayed on a website or passed to another system, it can execute harmful code, exposing users and systems to compromise. The benefits are as follows. It prevents XSS, command, or code injection exploits. It protects application integrity and user safety. And it maintains trust in AI-powered systems. Best practices are as follows. 1. Always encode and sanitize AI output before rendering or execution. 2. Use content security policies or CSPs for web contexts. 3. Treat all model text as untrusted input downstream. And 4. Validate integrations between AI modules and user-facing components. AI outputs can carry the same risks as hostile user input. Enforce rigorous output encoding and sanitization to ensure generated text cannot trigger injection vulnerabilities. The controls for insecure output handling includes the following control, which is marked with a hash and a short name in capitals. Hash encode model output. Encoding model output ensures that text produced by AI cannot execute malicious code when displayed or processed by other systems. It prevents injection-based exploits like XSS by escaping special characters or markup that could be interpreted as executable code. Why does this matter? AI-generated text may inadvertently include or reproduce attack patterns. Without encoding, such content could be rendered or executed by downstream systems, creating vulnerabilities in websites, chatbots, or automation pipelines. Benefits are as follows. It prevents injection and script execution risks. It secures user-facing and back-end systems that process AI output. And it builds trust and resilience in AI integrations. Best practices are as follows. 1. Always apply output encoding before rendering text to browsers or executing commands. 2. Use context-aware encoding, for example HTML, JSON, or SQL encoding as relevant. 3. Combine with input sanitization and content validation for layered defense. And 4. Refer to OpenCRE for encoding and injection prevention techniques. AI output should never be trusted blindly. Encoding ensures that even if the model generates malicious-looking text, it's rendered harmless, keeping both users and systems safe. Sensitive input data, including user prompts or context retrieved for model use, can be exposed through failures or attacks, especially when using cloud-hosted Gen AI systems. Because prompts often carry internal or personal data, they must be protected as rigorously as other confidential inputs. Why does this matter? Prompts and context data may include company secrets, customer details, or private information. If transmitted or stored insecurely, this information can leak to unauthorized parties, violating privacy and compliance obligations. The benefits are as follows. It preserves data confidentiality and user trust. It reduces regulatory and reputational risk, and it prevents cross-user data leakage in shared AI environments. Best practices are as follows. 1. Use TLS encryption for all model communications. 2. Limit input visibility through least privilege and role-based access. 3. Apply data classification and masking for sensitive prompts. 4. In RAG systems, ensure retrieval respects user authorization boundaries. And 5. Monitor and audit AI data flows for abnormal access or transmission. AI prompts and context inputs often carry high-value information. Secure them like any other sensitive data. Encrypt, restrict, and monitor to prevent unintended or malicious disclosure. Controls to assist with the leaking of sensitive input data include general controls from the AI exchange, in particular minimizing data, and the following control marked with a hash and a short name in capitals. Model input confidentiality. Model input confidentiality focuses on securing all data provided to AI models, such as user prompts, uploaded files, or contextual data. Since this input may contain private or proprietary information, its protection is essential across both storage and transmission layers. Why does this matter? Inputs often include confidential business data or personal identifiers. Without robust security, these can be intercepted or accessed by unauthorized parties, leading to privacy violations and data loss. The benefits are as follows. It safeguards user and organizational data during AI processing. It ensures compliance with data protection standards, for example ISO or GDPR, and it builds trust in AI-enabled workflows. Best practices are as follows. 1. Use encryption in transit and at rest for all input data. 2. Implement strong access controls with least privilege principles. 3. Minimize data retention, so store only what's necessary and for as long as needed. 4. Audit input access and apply secure logging for traceability. And 5. Integrate with secure development lifecycle policies. Treat all AI inputs as sensitive assets, encrypt them, limit access, and minimize storage duration to maintain confidentiality and compliance. This concludes the lesson on runtime application security threats and associated controls that form part of the OWASP AI Exchange. I hope you will join me in the next lesson, which covers AI security testing. Goodbye.